you've pressed start on this, and I've not had a single second to even process what we're talking about today.
Well, I pressed start because you always say crazy shit at the beginning, and I don't want to miss it.
That is true. I'm more natural when I know that it's not being recorded.
Yeah, I should just not tell you.
My inner freak comes out.
Inner freak, outer freak, always a freak.
Welcome to the Out of Bounds podcast with Jake and Sam, where we talk about all things gay, sport, and culture. Let's get into it.
I think that was your best one yet. Really good.
I felt really good doing it as well.
Well, it's all about how you feel, for sure. Jake, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm very good. I have had a productive week. I've had like a long weekend. Like, you know, when you have... My weekend technically started on Thursday because I drove down to Devon, which for Americans is our like coastal kind of area. So it's
And
like
that's
very...
where you're from?
No, it's where the people that were getting married, one of them was from. So it's very like, I got stuck for like 30 minutes behind a tractor.
Oh, okay.
It's very like
okay.
countryside.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't really say incest, but
Jesus.
people have several toes. I might get told. Oh well, out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
Shit. Oh, I just cramped up. Oh, my hamstring. Sorry.
Okay, I just want to say, we've been on this call for like 20 minutes before we started recording, and Jake is on one today. I don't know what's going on exactly.
I've actually really just cramped up.
Okay, so you were in Devon for a wedding, but it was also your birthday.
It was my birthday, yeah. 1st of August. It's not too late to send me presents if
You turned 21.
I turned 21 for the 7th time, and it was all right. It was a nice day. We went for... I feel like I'm at an age now where I care more about my birthday than other people do, which is not sad, but I need to probably get over it.
You were a little disappointed because you're like, this is a little anticlimactic for a birthday, is what you're saying.
A little bit, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll live. But actually, you probably would have seen, I had an event with Gymshark on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I kind of gate crashed it and said that because it was like we did like a conditioning club workout, and then we had like a long seated dining table kind of like experience because they released their new the t-shirt I'm wearing now.
Yeah.
The conditioning club collection. And then they brought out a cake and everyone sang happy birthday to me, which was really nice. And I felt very special.
Sweet.
So
Yeah,
that was cool. And then had a long weekend. And then I spent the day this morning in Bath catching up with a friend, and then had my normal Monday night gym session, and then just got home after 5-6 days away from home. So I'm very much living in my car. So I need to go and empty that once I'm done. But how about you? You were getting kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was a little bit crazier than I normally am. We went to Fire Island for my friend Mike's birthday, and I mean, I think we'll get into it. It was a fun time. It was fun. It was Pines Party weekend, which I will say is not really my speed. It's a little intimidating to me, a little anxiety provoking, but we ended up having a really great time. So, yeah, I'm a little tired. I'm a little hungover.
Party culture in the gay world. I've never really been out partying with the gays that much. I feel like you're way more experienced in that department than I am. I feel like it's
I'm a party.
I feel like it's kind of an American thing or a London thing.
Oh, interesting.
And obviously, and like Manchester, London, Brighton, are like the UK party scenes. I feel.
I will say I studied abroad for a summer in London, and when I was 18. So it was before I could go to any bars or clubs in the US. And we would go to the gay clubs a lot. I spent so much money, and I was such a menace there. Heaven, Freedom, those are the two that I can remember. Have you been to these places?
No.
Jake, we should go. How fun.
I know I need to, but now I'm just in this lifestyle where I just don't go out and I don't party. So like, and I think to be honest, I think I would find it difficult to go to those places. Not saying that I'd be like tempted to get with other people, but like I feel like when you go out and do that kind of partying, that is the objective. Maybe that's wrong to say, but I feel like that's like a part of that kind of culture. Is it's very much like hook up, go out, party, dance, and then hook up. So it's like
I think that makes complete sense. Jared and I have that conversation a lot of like sometimes people will say that's not their objective. You know, to go out and get drunk. It's not that they want to hook up with someone. It's just that they want to dance. And I don't get that because I don't like dancing. It's like not my thing. It's just like people like gyrating on the dance floor. Not for me.
Yeah, personal space, anxiety,
Yeah.
all of the above.
Just not interested. And so I have a hard time seeing the reason to do it. Kind of what you're saying of if I'm not looking to, you know, hook up with someone, what's the point of being there and getting like totally trashed? So I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I feel like people will have different opinions on that completely, but
Definitely.
I feel like now, I don't know. I feel like I kind of skipped a step. Like I went out a lot at uni and like college and like tried to fit in, and I did. Not saying tried to fit in because I feel like that's like not true. Like I did enjoy my time and I was going out with friends and partying and having a wicked time and stuff. But like I did that and then I kind of almost like skipped a step, settled down, and now I live this kind of like athlete lifestyle where it compounds. Like if I go out on a heavy night out and then I don't train the next day, I think we said it on the last one. It's like if I then go to a competition and don't feel like I've done 100% and put everything in, and then I lose or don't do well, there's things to blame it on.
Totally.
So you're kind of in that kind of like strange, which I love, and it's like I don't feel like I'm making a sacrifice, but other people probably are like, oh, what a crap life.
Yeah. Wait, I want to
So-
put a pause on this because I want us to come back to this, and I think there's so much more to say, but let's put a pin in it. So, first segment, I think we should chat about gays in the news because we've been seeing a lot of different news stories that we've been kind of sending back and forth to each other. And there's a lot of fun stuff happening right now. So, should we start with that today?
Yeah, very much athletics based, I feel.
Yeah, because we're a sports podcast, you know?
No, but as opposed to other sports, not just.
You're saying very like track focused because that's kind of what I found this week. Yeah. Well, USA Track and Field World Championships was this weekend, which I always love watching. The videos of the finals and any like the 400 meter, the 100 meter, 200 meter, any of those.
Yeah, I normally do like if I can't watch it there and then, I'll spend like an hour and a half going through either someone's YouTube as like a behind the scenes. Like when I was running on the treadmill today, I was watching Justin Medeiros' who's one of the CrossFit athletes, his like behind the scenes CrossFit YouTube series, because I watched the CrossFit Games, but then it's nice to kind of see like the behind the scenes stuff, which I think we'll see more and more within like the Hyrox space as well, which will be cool.
Yeah, they hype me up so much. The Road to the Games series, the different documentaries that they make for the CrossFit Games. Like whenever I'm feeling a little down about my training or uninspired, I just gotta watch one of those. Right back to it. Let's go to the gym.
Nice. Tell me the 60-second news.
So, couple of out athletes who did really well at the USA Track and Field World Championships. We've got Nico Young, who won the 10K in 29:02, which is unfathomable for me.
I'm such a fan. I'm actually such a fangirl. I can't wait to get him on the podcast and just pick his brains about how fast he can actually run.
Nico, we need to chat with you.
For 10K is just bonkers.
It's absolutely fucking insane. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's crazy.
I mean, we ran a 5K in Wisconsin this past summer, and I remember finishing the race and then just standing around watching the rest of the competitors, you know, come in. And there are people who take like an hour to finish the race, and he's doing it in half that time to do twice the work. It's
twice the distance.
It's so crazy. So that was very impressive, very cool for Nico Young. And I think that he's the first male identifying athlete to be at the top of the podium, which is really cool to see, who is currently out. Next up, we've got Nikki Hiltz, who I am a huge fan of. They won the 1500 meter. It's their 6th consecutive national title. They did it in 4 minutes and 3 seconds, which also is bonkers to me. It's so fast. And I love watching Nikki run. I think they are such a phenomenal athlete.
So Nikki is non-binary.
Trans non-binary. Yep. And what I think is actually really interesting is when you watch Nikki race, the announcers are so exceptional at using the proper pronouns. And it's kind of wild because in that scenario, they're speaking so quickly, you know, just like really getting the information out. And yet they're still so good at using they, them pronouns for Nikki. And I find it to be just really heartening. You know, they so easily could screw that up, but they're really taking the time to ingrain that into their speech. And it'd be fine if they screwed it up on accident. Like, I'm sure that Nikki would not be pissed.
This is what I find like, it's so easy to integrate it and do it. Like, it costs nothing.
Totally.
But it means so much to these individuals. So what annoys me is when people refuse to, for example, use the correct pronouns. And it's like, yeah, you're right. I get it. I get things wrong all the time. And it's like, it's so easy to go and speak to that athlete and understand and then talk about it, which blows my mind. But yeah, they're very cool to watch race as well. Like, just the way they approach the race. And I think it's like, there's like a confidence there as well. Like, knowing that they're at the top of the game. So that's nice to see.
Very, very impressive. And very, very happy for Nikki. And then the other one that was interesting was Yared Noghous takes 5th in the 1500 meter. And honestly, from what I was reading, that actually was not a great race for Yared. So I think that they're going to do some really good work in the next year, which will be fun to watch.
Yeah, he only came out recently as well, which is nice.
Yeah.
I think in kind of like a nice incognito type way. Obviously, like, the media picks up on it. But yeah. I think it's just like it was like a simple post just with his boyfriend.
Oh, cool.
Which is really nice. I think it was like, put a post up being like, this is me and my boyfriend, been together 1 year already, blah, 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 blah. And it kind of just went like a little bit viral, which was cute. Yeah. And he's really cool as well. And just so fast.
And so fast. Yeah. Speaking of the CrossFit Games, though, you said you were watching this weekend?
Yeah, I tried. It started on my birthday. So I basically just tuned in to every single... There was on average, 3 events a day. So, like, there was one essentially morning time, New York time, and then midday, and then evening. So every time it was on, I just tuned in on YouTube or caught up straight after.
I love watching them. I haven't watched all the events from this weekend, but I was happy that Tia won. Just such a badass.
Yeah, I know. It's actually crazy. And she hasn't even been, like, CrossFit training. Like, she's been training for Hyrox.
Yeah.
And she still just turns around and does like an 8-week block and just like crushes everyone. Like, she won quite comfortably as well.
Yeah. 36 points, something like that.
A Brit in second place.
Lucy,
female.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're very, very fun to watch. Yeah. As far as I know, there are no out CrossFitters right now who are currently competing. Is that to the best of your knowledge?
I would assume, and this is very much an assumption, I would assume that some of the females would be. But in the male field, there is definitely not, as far as I'm aware.
Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, because like Sam Briggs from the UK definitely was out. But I don't know if there are any female CrossFitters who are out right now, who are currently competing.
I'll ask Amy. I know Amy, so
yeah.
When I see her next, I'll ask her.
Yeah, I'm very interested. Amy Kringle, is that who you're talking about?
Yeah. I'll be like, Amy, any lesbos on the... on the CrossFit circle.
You're really gonna get us in trouble by like.
We want to chat to them.
I mean, we do want to chat with them, but it's just interesting. It's not a sport.
Alec.
Yeah, definitely. But Alec didn't compete this year. You know.
No, but there is representation.
There is representation.
Acceptance within the CrossFit space.
Well, and I think that the fact that Alec came out like a few years ago and we haven't really had many gay CrossFitters since is kind of a testament to how big of a deal it was that Alec came out. You know, I don't think that there is that much support. I'm glad that he did it. And I think that he was honestly pretty brave to do it because it's not a welcoming community by any means.
Well, we might just have to talk to Alec.
I think we should talk to Alec. We'll have a good time.
Next episode, maybe.
Stay
tuned. Yeah.
Gay people doing great in sports. We love to see it. When is your next competition? It's not for a few weeks, right? 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
Okay.
I have a simulation in 2 weeks. I have a half marathon in 1 week.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
So just kind of throwing some things in there to test where I'm at.
Yeah, where are you aiming for the half?
Well, it's very hilly. I'm hoping anything around like 75 minutes, so an hour and 15 would be like very solid.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping
that is so fast.
I'm hoping for sub 75, but the course is quite notorious for being quite hilly. So if I can get under that, then I'm probably in like 70-minute shape, 71-minute shape.
Yeah.
On like a fast course. So yeah, I'd be pretty happy with that.
That's really crazy. I'm excited for you. I'll follow along.
I'm excited too.
Cool. Want to go into our next segment?
Yes. That was very blunt. Yes, I do.
Yeah, why don't you lead us into it?
Stigma Sprints.
That's it.
Stigma Sprints. Stigma Sprints. Fire Island, baby.
Yeah.
Talk to me around everything, because as we've already discussed, I am not very much a part of the drinking party culture anymore. I think it's like a huge part of the gay community. I think it's spoken about, isn't it? Because it used to be quite a safe space for the gays when there wasn't obviously safe spaces before our time, but it kind of filters into our community still, drinking and drug culture.
Are there places like Fire Island in the UK?
I don't know. I'm like the worst person to ask, seriously. But I think there is. There's definitely... there's a festival and it's slipped my mind of what it's called. But it's like a very gay one. Like most of the gays go to it. I've just completely forgotten I'm going to type it into Google quick. Gay Festival UK. This is not helping me.
Jake, I think I need you to turn on another light.
Mighty Hoopla.
Mighty Hoopla?
Yeah. Oh, damn. It got bright in here. Fuck. My eyes. Yeah, it's called Mighty Hoopla. And it's kind of quite notorious for... It's like a festival, so I've not been yet. I did get invited this year, but I wasn't able to make it.
Maybe you gotta go.
I will go. Like I'm not anti these things, and I don't want people to feel like I'm like putting them down by saying like you shouldn't do drinking and drugs. Yeah, it's purely just like that's just where I'm at in my kind of life. But it's probably not healthy in a way how much I train and don't go out and party and drink and do some drugs. So I think the balance is kind of like the key thing when you're not aspiring to be an athlete.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that I get quite a bit of anxiety when I think about those types of events. And it's not like I don't necessarily have fun at them. But I do feel like the drinking that's associated for me is attached to trying to reduce my anxiety because of feeling so nervous or just out of my element when I go to them. And I don't love that. I actually like drinking at my friends' houses where we're all having a good time, or if my friends from high school are all getting together, I love drinking with them. We have the best time. But I feel like that is to kind of enhance the experience. And then when I go to these big parties, I'm so anxious that I'm using alcohol to numb the experience. And that feels like two very different things to me.
Yeah. So for example, I was at a wedding this weekend and I was probably one of 3 or 4 people that weren't drinking. But I'm quite good now because I've done it for so long. You would almost assume that I was drinking because I can get onto that level. My thing is just by 10 o'clock, I'm done. Like I'm just tired. Yeah. Like and I also just know when my body is like shutting down. So
you're just a little chaotic to start. So people think that you're wasted.
Yeah. Pretty much. But I have anxiety, but like in different sometimes scenarios. Like if I didn't know anyone at that wedding, this wedding was very much like I knew 80% of the people there. Whereas if I didn't know anyone at the wedding, I wouldn't go and kind of gate crash that kind of like environment, and I wouldn't have the confidence to do so either. But because I knew everyone there, like I could just get on a level and have a good time with everyone.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I also think I did a lot of drinking and parties in college. I think that because that has not been as big of a part of my life over the past like 8 years, it means that when I do drink, it really fucks me up. You know, my body's so not used to it that I get really hungover. I'm such a baby. And kind of what you were saying, you know, it ruins the next day of training. It usually makes me a little depressed, and it's just not really something that I'm interested in, you know?
It's definitely a thing though. It's like if someone did the workout I did, they would get DOMS. If I drunk the same amount that someone else went and drunk, exactly. I would get a very bad hangover. So it's exactly the same kind of, I think. It's like a training thing, isn't it? Your body gets acclimatized. Like at uni, I could do like 3 days on the bounce and it wouldn't even affect me. And then now if I did 1 day, I think I would literally die, genuinely.
Yeah, that's the thing. It makes our bodies very, very kind of precious. Sad. But I do think that the other thing that is a little bit challenging to navigate is that when you stop drinking and you stop going to those types of events, I think that for sport, it makes a lot of sense. You know, you have a very good argument for why that is 100% going to be a detriment to the progress that you're trying to make. And the only equipment that you have is your body, basically. So if you're not treating your body well, then you're not going to progress. You're not going to advance in this career that you're doing. I think that it's interesting that people don't necessarily think about their like aesthetic body goals in the same way, because yes, it's a little bit different, but the drinking, the drugs, the party culture also is pretty antithetical to looking like this very certain body type that gay people tend to really like. And it's interesting that they aren't necessarily, how do I want to say this? That they're kind of still related. You know, people can really say that they want to look a certain way, and yet they're absolutely unwilling to give up any sort of the party culture. And that's interesting to me. I don't know. It's always been interesting.
I think there's such an element of like, there's so many ways to cheat a good body now as well. Like taking
That's interesting. Yeah.
drugs and not necessarily like Botox and things, but I feel like that's quite, in America in particular, like the amount of like filler and things that people put into their bodies and face is way more than like what I notice and see in the UK.
Yeah.
Which I think comes from like a body dysmorphia, or which is obviously a huge topic that everyone kind of probes me to talk about, which I sometimes find difficult because I am so comfortable within my own body and skin, like I will take my top off constantly, and it's 90% of the time it's not from like a, oh look at me, I'm taking my top off, like look at my body type of thing. I'm just topless 90% of the time anyway, because I just run really hot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a big topic, isn't it, within like talk about anxiety. I know we kind of go a bit off topic a little bit, but like anxiety and sport and body goals, and I think it all kind of intertwines, that like drinking and covering up anxiety and kind of going to these parties to potentially kind of like lose yourself within a space is kind of like my, I guess, mindset with it. But I just kind of channeled mine into going to the gym and just working my ass off and putting myself into a pain cave rather than going and drinking and dancing into a kind of cave.
No, but I think that actually does relate really well, because when I went to the Pines party, there are like thousands of gay people there, and a lot of them are in some form of nakedness, and a lot of them look unbelievable. They look amazing. They look like an Adonis. And they're also at this party getting completely trashed. You know,
yeah,
the
like
amount of people.
But like night after night after night after night as well. Like not just like.
But I think that gives people this false idea that, you know, it's possible to look like that even when you are putting your body through a lot of shit, when you are drinking every single night and doing drugs and eating whatever you want because you're drunk when you get home. When in fact, I think that you're probably right. A lot of that aesthetic is manufactured with some kind of filler, Botox, steroid situation, you know?
I think it's one of those where like you still have to work relatively hard even if you're on like PEDs, like performance enhancing drugs. Like you don't just take it and then suddenly you get buff. Like a lot of people I think sometimes take it, think that they don't need to actually still go to the gym, and then they look like shit.
No, but I do think that it gives you a lot of leeway, you know?
Oh,
whereas
for sure, yeah.
To get a certain body type, you really would need to be focused on your diet and your training and your sleep. I think that it allows you to be quite a bit less strict with all three of those things when you are on PEDs, you know?
Yeah, I think, well, naturally, isn't it? It's a cheat code to testosterone.
Does Hyrox test for PEDs?
Yeah. They've just brought it into play.
Okay, yeah.
So they only it's quite good, to be fair, because they test at all of the major races now. So, and that's like, it's like one every 2 months. So like, I feel like if you were to do like drugs, you have to do it over like an extended period of time.
Right.
Whereas if you're in competition for that whole period, yes, you could do it like out of season and then it kind of like clears your body.
Yeah.
But I think like if you're in that kind of training, competing window, then you can't really get away with doing it. But I'm sure people will skip major events and things so that they can
not have to test during those times.
I'm sure it is there. Like I'd like to think, and I try to think that people would be like not willing to do that to get an advantage over other people. But you look at like marathon runners, or even just, it's very big in athletics because it's simply a way to a better lifestyle for a lot of like some of the more like African kind of Kenyan athletes get popped all the time. But for them, if they take that performance enhancing drug and then become the best Kenyan athlete, get a night contract, then you're literally you're laughing, aren't you? So
Yeah.
I think now that more like money and things come into play, I think there'll be more temptation for people to do certain things to gain an advantage, which is a shame. But I think that's when the protocols need to become.
Absolutely. It seems wild that we don't have a better way of monitoring it, you know?
Yeah, I think the hard thing is that the drugs will always come before the testing of the drugs as well.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Like the creation of the drug will come before the testing of the newly drug that's been created.
Yeah.
So I think it's always going to be a lag on
That's
the
crazy
development front. And I think like you look at these CrossFit athletes and there's no way that they're not taking drugs. And they somehow get away with it. Like a few people get done for doping and get their 2-year ban, and then in that 2-year ban window, they're probably just taking it the whole time because they're not being tested for that 2 years, and then they just come back and do it. So yeah, it's pretty backwards. And
just the science of it creating capacity for you. So creating this capacity while you are doing PEDs that allows you to maintain some of that once you're off of them. It's not like you're only getting the benefit when you're doing them, which
on it. Yeah.
I think that is where the 2-year bans kind of missed the mark a little bit. The fact that Ricky Garrar just takes second at the CrossFit Games and he's had quite a bit more longevity than a lot of the other athletes. And it's like, yeah, because the other athletes have been putting their bodies through the same amount of work that you have, but they don't have as good of recovery because they weren't taking PEDs, allegedly. Yeah, it makes complete sense.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, and I think we probably will see more and more in Hyrox, but hopefully they kind of get on top of it and they don't see the benefit of having like crazy fast times just for the sake of it, and then knuckle down on it a bit. But I don't even know. To be honest, I don't know what would be the best. I would assume that EPO would be probably the best thing to take for Hyrox because it's kind of that cardiovascular.
What is that?
I don't know what it stands for, but it's basically essentially your blood doping. So you're creating more red blood cells in your body.
The Lance Armstrong one, right?
Yeah. So rather than like taking your own blood out and putting it back in, this thing just does it for you, essentially. So it's like altitude training, but without having to do the altitude training, and you just create more.
We love shortcuts. It's good. Anyway, going back to Fire Island, it was a very fun time. It definitely makes me anxious. And I think that some people have the best time there. It's like the only opportunity that they have to really be themselves and be with friends and go out and have a good time. I don't know if it's for me. I would much rather be doing something a little bit more active and like have an early night and an early morning than to be out late at night. I mean, for Pine's party, they started the party, I think, at 11, and everyone kept on saying to us, they're like, you gotta stay until the very end at 6 a.m., which is when the sunrise happens. And so we're partying until the sunrise happens. Like, I can't do that. It's not in my DNA to be able to be out past, honestly, to be honest, 1. 2 is like really pushing it, and we got back at 2.
Yeah, I can't do that. Like, genuinely, I don't have the capacity to do that. I am yet to find like loads of people that kind of want to get up early and go for their run and stuff. I know. But I'm sure over time it will happen a bit more.
I've had periods of training where I've had those people in my life, and I really love it. I love it when you have people who hold you accountable versus you feel like you have to kind of like pull them along. So who's to say? Maybe you're going to move to New York and we're going to start training together.
Maybe.
You'll definitely be pulling me along. So, okay, let's move into our next segment. We've got the recovery room. I figured it might be kind of good to do like a little mental health check, which kind of leads perfectly into a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about today. I wanted to know about the pressure of being a professional athlete. I know you said that when you don't get your proper workouts in or your proper recovery, that means that on race day, it's really hard for you to, not to put words into your mouth, but it's really hard for you to kind of feel like you did everything you could to perform the best. But what is that pressure like?
Yeah, mindset is such a big thing with like, when you get to a certain level of any sport, it's almost like a mindset game. And can you crack that? So like having all of those kind of smaller things in place where you know that you've done everything you possibly can gives you a confidence to be like, I am ready for this race. And that extra 1% of confidence will separate you from someone who did potentially go and party or didn't get the best lot of training in for their 8-week block or something. So yeah, there's definitely a pressure with that, but that's almost what makes it exciting. That's what makes you the professional athlete. Like that's what makes you a professional rather than just someone who likes to train and cracks on with, and they're very good, but they don't have that kind of like full-time mindset. So yeah. But yeah, with mental health checking in, I feel like it's so easy for us to just be like, yeah, I'm fine, or like, yeah, I'm all right, or like if people check in, do you know what I mean? Like at the moment I am fine. I'm really happy, but there's obviously times where I'm not. But I'm so guilty of just being like, yeah, I'm all right, and not actually kind of being like, actually, I think it's like I don't want to put that burden on someone else. I think
Totally.
I don't want to turn around and be like, actually, I'm not okay. And it's like, and also like my life is so good in kind of like comparison to certain people, and there's always a like comparison thing. But like I then feel guilty being like, oh, I'm actually not okay, or I'm upset about this when someone else is going through a hell of a lot worse than I am. So then it's almost like you're like you're feeling guilty about feeling sad. Then it just and then you get even more sad.
When we were discussing going out to Fire Island, I was thinking about going like a day late. And I was talking to Yared about it because I was feeling a little anxious. And I thought maybe if I just had an extra night in my bed where I just had a full day at Fire Island and then we came back the next day, I would be a little bit better. And I had this feeling of I should be able to deal with this anxiety, right? My life is relatively easy. It is something that I should be able to deal with. I don't really understand why I'm so anxious about it, but I am. And I was kind of chatting with him and I was saying like, I know that I can usually handle this. I don't know why I can't right now. And I'm sorry, basically. Like, I don't want to put this on you, but it was like but it sucks. And sometimes it is something that is out of your control, you know?
I spoke about it. Did I post it on? I think I only posted it on TikTok, but I basically posted about something and being like, I feel like I'm on my period right now. Like, my hormones are like out of whack. Like I'm on my man period or whatever it is, and like I was like, I don't like. It happens from time to time, and there won't be anything that I can like. I'm not like thinking about something that's making me sad, but I'll just be sad. Like I'll just go through like a 2-day, 1-day, 3-day period, and it won't be any more than that normally. Where I'm just so low.
Yeah.
And like Paul, obviously I've been with Paul for 5.5 years now. Like he knows when I'm going through those periods, and I've communicated and been like, look, it's not you, it's not anything. I just need you to be there and just be like present with me in those moments, because it doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. So it's like I'm also aware. I'm very like aware of it. So I try and do all of the things that I know are going to make me kind of like tick and get back into kind of a happy rhythm. Yeah. So what have you got anything like with going to Fire Island? Is there anything that you do or could, other than just talking about it?
I think that having a gym routine obviously is a really good way to be in a kind of rhythm. But I also think that a really specific gym routine, especially when you're in a hard training block, can be incredibly depleting. And that's happened to me, what you're talking about, where I've kind of trained so hard that it's not the dopamine anymore. I'm like out. I'm out of energy. I feel completely depleted. And I don't know what the answer is to fixing that. Sometimes it feels like the answer is watching my favorite TV show and just being like, I can't like scroll social media right now. I need to do, or reading a book. I need to do anything else than try and fix this, because me trying to fix this is just another thing to add to my to-do list right now.
Yeah, I feel that.
I also think it's interesting because I definitely don't feel that pressure from a professional athlete perspective of feeling like every single moment that you have is a moment that you could be devoted to some sort of training. Maybe not in the gym, but outside of the gym, definitely. And you're thinking about recovery,
like
and
recovery,
sleep,
nutrition.
Yep, nutrition, definitely. But I feel that so heavily in entrepreneurship, where, yeah, I love being an entrepreneur. I love having a business. I love that the work that I put into something generally is what I get out of it. But also, at the end of the day, if your business doesn't work, it's your fault. And maybe that's a little aggressive, but it makes it really high stakes. You know, if your business isn't going to work out, it's because you chose to do other things like go out or skip the meeting or skip a training session or something like that. And that's a really hard thing to swallow. I think that actually it kind of ends up being a really big mind fuck, because then it does mean that sometimes you completely lose any balance, you know?
Yeah, I take it so personally as well.
Wait, say more about that.
So if someone doesn't want to be a part of like the BT&D coaching, or like doesn't come to run club, or we have low numbers, or if something isn't successful with what I've done with BT&D, or even like doesn't have to be necessarily BT&D, but like like one of the brands that I work for, if it doesn't get like, if I'm not successful with it, like I'll take it so personally and I'll be like, oh,
Totally.
it's me.
It's hard.
So
I mean, that's a huge part of entrepreneurship, is it's really challenging to detach the work and the business that you're doing from your personal self-worth. It's not an easy thing. But do you feel like
especially,
you're able to do that easier with athletics?
With sport?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's just all on me. Like I can't control what other people do. Like if they beat me, they beat me. Whereas if I do well, then I'll be happy regardless if someone beats me. Like there's different ways of winning in sport for sure. Like I know my potential, and if I reach that, then I'll be super happy. Like if someone else has a higher ceiling, then they have a higher ceiling.
So you're not as concerned about placement as you are about product.
I'm really competitive. Like I really like winning, and I really don't like losing.
Yeah.
Like I just like, as soon as I get into like competition mode, I'm a completely different person. Not in like a bad way, but just like in life and day to day, like even just like before race, but like as soon as I get on that start line, I'm like laser focused, and I'm just ready to like, I could probably kill someone.
This is so interesting you say this, because I wasn't going to go into it in this podcast, but I actually think it is a perfect tee up. So I was listening to this podcast with Ryan Seacrest and Miley Cyrus, and they were talking about Miley Cyrus going out for Beyonce's concert. And I think Ryan asked about if Miley ever feels competitive with Beyonce, and Miley said something that flipped a switch in my brain. It was kind of unbelievable, and that was that confident women don't compete. And I have identified as a competitor my entire life. I felt like I had to compete, not just because I'm gay, but that's a big part of it, but because I wasn't as athletic as other people, I wasn't as smart as other people, and I felt like I had to compete to be part of the game. I think I've finally come to this conclusion that I don't want to be a competitor anymore. I don't think that sets you up to be the best athlete or entrepreneur or person. I actually think confidence does. Being confident in yourself, you know? And it just completely shifted my brain, because, of course, there's no reason for Miley Cyrus and Beyonce to compete. They're two unbelievable artists, you know? It was really special to me.
That's nice. I was running tonight, and I was thinking, like, I was about to run past some people, and I was thinking, I wonder what they think when I run past them. And then I was thinking, I wonder if they think, like, hate that guy, or like, oh, that guy's so fast. Or this was just what I was thinking about in my head at that point. And I was like, do I care? And I was like, yeah, I definitely do care. And I think I then went all the way back, and I was like, I think it comes from like not feeling good enough when I was a kid. Like I always I kind of not blame my sister, and I hope I don't care if she listens really, but I do care. I hope she listens, but like it's not a bad thing. But I was like, she was so good at sport. She was so clever, and I always felt like second fiddle, or like even when I went to all the same schools as her, and I was like almost known as like Jordan's sister or Cameron's brother, and I was never really like Jake. And it's like, it's not her. Like it wasn't like, oh, hate her for that. But like, I think that kind of created this kind of like need and want to have everyone be like Jake.
Yeah.
And now I think I'm just wired, and I'm messed up in the head. Like I don't know. I just want to be successful and win. And I think I'm obviously wired that way anyway, but like it just kind of, I think that. And not only that, like obviously peers, I was a late developer. Like if you look at pictures of me at like 16, I literally look like I'm 12.
Yeah.
So I think all of that intertwined created who I am now. Right. So yeah, anyway, that's a fun story that's how my brain works, everyone. That was me as I was running past some people thinking, I wonder what they think of me. So that was basically 500 meters of my 1K run. So
it's good. I mean, honestly,
that's probably why I'm so good at running. My brain can just go into like another realm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just think the confidence thing, watching Tia go into the CrossFit Games this weekend, is pure confidence. I don't think that
Yeah.
she was like a competitor. There was no competition. She knew that she was the best and that she will be the best until she decides not to be. And I find that to be very, very impressive.
Do you
And
think you have to earn that confidence by being a competitor?
I've
Like
thought about this a
you
lot.
can't be that confident without earning your earning your stripes,
Absolutely.
can you?
And having the goal of building confidence does not mean that you don't earn your stripes. It doesn't mean that you're not putting in the work. It doesn't mean that you're not putting in the gym time or the time on your business or anything like that. It means that you put in so much of that time that there's no questioning whether enough you are enough. Like in the acting space, one of the things that directors always say to you is remind yourself before you go into an audition that you are enough. Because you trying to prove that you're something more than you are, best way to signal falsity. And that is when we're not going to hire you. So like reminding yourself that you are enough and the work you put in is enough.
There's a fine balance between confidence, and I don't necessarily think narcissism is a bad thing. Like
That's a good conversation.
It's used as an insult. I would say I'm probably narcissistic. I have narcissistic tendencies.
Tendencies. I definitely do, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's a confidence thing. But like, I really hope that my confidence doesn't come across as what people would identify as the negative part of being narcissistic, if that makes sense. Like the dislikable parts of that. Like, I hope that I empower people and I make people happy and smile rather than them thinking, oh, like that guy's so confident and cocky. Like, I'm confident in my abilities because I've worked my ass off. I'm confident in who I am because it's taken me a long time to get to where I am. I'm confident
you put in the work to support it.
My public speaking, as I touched on before. Like, I spent 2 years essentially just practicing.
Yeah.
And like, I'm confident. There's things where I'm not confident for sure, but I'll become confident in them because I'll work my bloody ass off to become confident in them.
I will say it's interesting that you say that you think that you have some narcissistic tendencies, because I think that that's the big problem with narcissism, is that generally people who are narcissists can't identify in themselves that they are. And so I think that automatically signals to me that you are not a narcissist, and I can just tell that you are not a narcissist. But I think that they do get conflated with confidence very frequently. And the difference between them is that confidence is backed up. You put in the work, and other people may not know that, so they might mistake it as narcissism, but you know that you've put in the work in your training, and that means that confidence is earned, and that confidence is all you need to perform your best. You don't necessarily need to like compete against the guy next to you. I don't think that makes the performance better.
I like this little subsection. This was a good chat.
You liked this chat?
Yeah.
I think it's where we should... Oh wait, do you have to take the pie out?
No, that was... This is how stupid I am, right? I set the alarm and I was meant to set it for 9:45, and I've set it for 9:45. But Paul texted me as I was on the podcast and said, pie, with a love heart, because he knew that I would forget, and I did.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I just messed up because I'm an idiot. And now my pie's cold.
Okay. Let's wind it down because we've been talking for too long. What do you got going on this week? What's happening?
I need to show you something.
Okay.
I got it was my birthday, right, on Saturday.
Yeah.
And one of my presents from my sister-in-law was a pickle-in-a-pouch.
I saw this on your story. Them? Yeah. I think pickle-in-a-pouch is a great snack. I very much approve. I love it. Yeah.
I'm actually thinking about like the science behind it. I got it out after training, and my friends were like, what the hell is that? And I was like, it's a pickle in a pouch.
Well, they say that like the electrolytes are very good, right?
But this was my show and tell for the week. I hope you enjoy.
Big Papa. That's my name for the week. You're Butt Munter and I'm Big Papa.
Right, let's close off. What have you got going on this week?
Jared and I are going upstate. We're going to see a show. You like music theater. You just told me this, and I didn't know this. You said you didn't want to stomp on my territory, but how would I possibly know that? What's your favorite show?
I'm a big Ben Platt fan. So when I was coming out...
Waving through a window.
Yeah. When I was coming out, his Radio City live performance was a thing that Paul sent me on Netflix. And one of the songs is called Honest Man. and it's about having a safe place to come out. So the story is basically Ben was out and comfortable, whereas the person that he was kind of dating or seeing wasn't, and Ben was trying to convince, or not convince, but like allow the other person to see that it's not actually that bad on the other side, and that he would be an honest man and help protect them. So that used to make me cry every single time I listened to it. And I think it's probably not necessarily a karaoke song because it's pretty sad. Or like the tone is like not like that uplifting. It's not like Wonderwall or Angels or whatever. But it's probably the song that I've sung the most. So naturally, Dear Evan Hansen, because of the soundtrack. I think the actual like storyline's a little bit twisted. But
Yeah, it is.
and it's not actually that great of a storyline. Don't hate me.
No, I agree.
But
I think that
the songs are very, very good.
Ben also wails on that album. It's just so good. I listened to that album nonstop when I was on tour.
Oh, it's my journey, like car
Ease
journey
My
album.
Mind. That's a great song. You know what is actually a good karaoke song because like it's like uplifting is the Share Your Address. Do you remember that song?
Yeah.
That's a great
Walking in your house, I wanna pick up your clothes, I wanna share your address.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good. Yeah, it's great. I know Ben pretty well. You know, if he starts doing sports, he can come on the podcast.
You know what? If me and Paul get married, he's going to listen to this and I'm going to ruin it. But I want you to message Ben and get him to do an acoustic version of Honest Man so that we listen to that as we walk down the aisle.
I will say, I don't think that Ben owes me any favors, but music theater fan, I will make sure that we bring up more music theater because...
I'm going to Mary Poppins next week.
On the West End?
Well, I live in Birmingham, so we have the Hippodrome, which is like the touring version.
Yeah, the touring version. Okay, cool. That's great. What does your week look like?
Pretty busy. I've got a cool event with Red Bull on Wednesday, and then it's Paul's dad's birthday dinner on Thursday, and then we're going to go to the beach on Friday.
Oh,
and
fun.
then half marathon on the weekend. And then I've actually got a guitar lesson on Monday, my first ever one.
That's exciting. You've never done any guitar before?
I used to play the drums when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's right. I just take a guitar class in college. It's fun.
I think I'm nervous though.
What?
Like,
Don't be nervous.
I feel like I don't have the mental capacity to learn, like to be good.
Well,
I should just
you're
stick to sports,
chaotic.
I think. I have a golf lesson next Wednesday, but that's next week. Ooh. I won't get too far ahead.
Okay, yeah. Well, great. Okay. Well, thanks so much for listening, y'all. Make sure to follow on YouTube. We've got a YouTube channel if you're watching us. Otherwise, you can listen, follow on Instagram, that kind of thing. Thanks. See ya.
Any anonymous confessions?
Yeah, that's right. I'm glad that you said this. Me? From me?
Are we whispering?
Not anonymous confessions from me. It's not anonymous.
Yeah, I know that. I was asking them, and then you just
anonymous
made it,
confessions.
You were like,
just stay tuned on our story because we're going to be putting up an opportunity for you to make anonymous confessions or any tips. If you have any tips for gay news, let us know. We always want to feature cool gay people on the pod. But yeah, seriously, any reviews, comments, likes. I know it kind of like feels a little bit like beggy, but like it does make a big difference in terms of like engagement and helping other people find the podcast. Because hopefully it can make it. We are begging you. Hopefully it can make a big difference to not only your lives but other people's lives by just having these kind of like fun, candid conversations. So much love, peace, bye. Confident women don't compete.
Confident men do.
That's true.
Right, see ya.
Bye.
Bye, guys.